today is the day we are finally going to do the long-awaited van tour of our 2016 Ford Transit.
Let's take you on a tour.
This content is sponsored by Outdoorsy. Through Outdoorsy, you can rent your camper van out to make extra cash, and you can rent a van to try van life before you commit.
We started the project out with a 2016 Ford Transit. It is the 148 wheelbase with the extended rear end. It's also the high top, measuring at like 6'2". It also has the 3.2 liter Power Stroke diesel, which has been very good going up all the mountain passes, and the fuel economy is pretty good, giving us about 13 miles to the gallon with towing a Jeep. Starting up front, we have the Luminous brush guard. We also got a couple nightlights strapped to it, as well as 4 up top. Those are really good when you come into a camp spot really late at night. Moving on over to this side, we got some 16-inch black Rhino rims. We got the Firestone Transforce on there. It's not an aggressive tire, but it's the biggest payload for a rim this size. Favorite features is our Fiamma awning. It's a F45. It's the 11-foot model. Really great. We even got the little holders to hold the legs down if we don't want them on the ground, so the dogs can't get all tangled up in there. One thing that we knew we needed on here that we don't see on a lot of van builds is an actual step. The Ford Transit, I think, is the highest ground to cargo area van, and then we added a couple inches with flooring and insulation. So we just added these cheap pull-out RV steps, and that was really good for the dogs. With adding the step, we also had to put some LEDs to illuminate it at night so we don't trip and fall when we take the dogs out. We also have a cool feature for the awning, is we added some LED lights to give us some ambiance at night. So when we bought the van, it was a straight cargo van, no windows except for the ones in the cab. So what we did is we went with Motion Windows. They're great company, they had a good lead time, and it was easy to install. We're very happy we put 6 of these in, and we wouldn't regret it one bit. On this side of the van, we have our shore power, which is not your regular 30 amp plug. It's actually a 20 amp plug, so we can just plug an extension cord into it. A lot easier than toting around a big 30 amp. In here is our water fills, our gravity, and then our pressurized city fill. We also have the other Fiamma holder to hold the leg up off the ground. This is one of my favorite parts of the van because it looks pretty good. We have the Luminous rear bumper with the swings, with double drop down boxes, and then we got some jerry cans up here. We have 2 for water, 2 for gas, because our Jeep is gasoline, and then we have 2 for diesel for the van. So we're in the back of the van now in the garage area. We wanted to make sure we could fit all of our toys to bring on this awesome adventure. We got our mountain bikes back here, longboards, snowboards, extra storage for all of Maddie's shoes and jackets. On this side, we have a patio rug, life jackets, extra stuff for the awning, and when it snows, we also carry hoses and cords for water and electricity. On the driver's side here is our battery storage. We have 600 amp hours of lithium ion batteries. It also has our 3000 watt inverter charger. On the passenger side of the van, we have our 32 gallon freshwater tank. We also have a 4 gallon Bosch water heater and our 2 gallon pressurized auxiliary tank for the water filter. So up on the roof of the van is our custom-made roof rack, which holds our 500 watts of solar panels. It also holds 3 heavy-duty crates for extra storage, as well as our extending WeBoost antenna. We also have some more outdoor LED lights and our 12-volt camera system. On the driver's side of the van, it's pretty bare. We do have 1 window. We have our vent for our composting nature head toilet. But the cool feature that you don't see in a lot of vans or even van conversions is 2 sliding doors. This is what made us buy this van. With everything we put on the inside of the van, we knew we had to do something with the suspension. So we added another leaf to help with the carry capacity. We also added sumo springs front and rear, and that really helps even out the ride over the bumps.
Moving on to the inside. The first thing we'll show you on the inside is we have this drop down table here, and it fits our grill perfectly. And along with that, we have an external propane hookup so that we never have to fuss with taking it out from under the stove or using extra little 1-pound bottles. We also added, for convenience, some 110 and 12 volt outlets on the outside. The cab is a standard 2016 Ford Transit cab. We didn't change anything here, but we do have our cameras, which we have 4 mounted on all the corners of the roof rack. We have our brake for when we're towing the Jeep, and we added all our exterior light switches up here. Here we have just basic storage. We've got all our extra keys, sunglasses, and dog toys on this side. Up here, since this is kind of our office and reading space, we added 2 lights along with 110 and 12 volt outlets on both sides. And we got this really cool tapestry off of Amazon that looks like we're looking up at the night sky. Up here we have storage for all the window covers and the bug screens. So they all fit in here pretty nicely, and this actually flips down so that we have full access to all the space inside of here. And we made it this shape to keep us from hitting our heads on it. Over here we have our bench and table system. So this all actually can flip up and stores nicely against this wall, so we have full access through both doors when we want it. Although we typically haven't been doing that, we've been leaving it down and using it for storage under there, which is just fine too. Here we have our fancy lagoon table, and it goes every which way. So we have a table here, we have a table here. I can sit this way. This is typically how I do my editing. I love it. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the whole van. And we usually just store it like that when the bench is down. Over here we have another flip up table. And what's really cool about this is Blackhawk actually engineered it so that it can go up and be a countertop extension, or it can come down and be a table. Over here we have a 3-burner stove with an almost full-size oven. It runs off of propane, and we love this thing. We haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. It's probably one of my favorite appliances in here. Over here we have a full-size slide-out pantry, and this houses about 90% of our food. And all we do to keep things from sliding around is we added these little bungees so we can just pull them tight as we use things, and it keeps everything nice and secure. Down here below the pantry we have a special cabinet that is specifically for dog food. We have 3 containers, and it perfectly fits a 12-pound bag, which usually lasts us about a week with the 2 dogs. While we're down here, I'll show you this side under the stove. It houses our 5-pound propane tank and some extra pots and pans. We do have a propane detector, but propane is heavier than air, so it will flow out into the footwell and out the door. Here we have our live edge countertop. We actually made it ourselves out of ambrosia maple. We have 73 inches of counter space, but with the flip up extension, it makes it a solid 8 feet. Over here we have a coarse composite sink that's about 9 inches deep, and Blackhawk even made me a fancy sink cover that sits nice and flush. We have a commercial style faucet, and this was actually one of the very first things that we bought for the van 2 years ago when we were just starting to get all of our building supplies and designing. We also have a 3-stage osmosis water filter, so we always know that whatever we're drinking is pure water. Right here we have all of our switches. So we have ceiling lights, under cabinet lights, upper and lower LEDs. This switch is to the lights above the cab. And then we have the awning lights, the step lights, and our water pump switch. And here we have 2 110s as well as 2 12-volt outlets. Here is all of our kitchen supplies. So we've got silverware, utensils, plates, bowls, and cups. These are all soft close. We have Tupperwares and food storage in here, and our pots and pans are down here. We also have some fancy toe kick drawers down here, and this one's got cutting boards and sheet pans. That one has Ziploc bags and tin foil. This one has our dish towels and dishcloths. Usually we are out right now. And this one holds all of our trash bags. Speaking of the trash bags, Blackhawk built me this awesome trash can and it just tips right out. When we were building, I didn't want to have little bags of trash everywhere. I wanted to have one place that I could put all my stinky trash and it wouldn't smell and I wouldn't have to look at it. And that's what he built me. Here we have a flip down under the sink that houses the switch to the water heater. Below that, we just have extra storage. We've got some more everyday shoes and some of my makeup and a little bit of cleaning supplies down here. In our uppers, we have coffee and cocoa and drinks in here. We've got toiletries up here along with some basic medicines. And we've got more toiletries up here that's more like shower stuff and some of my girly things. Kind of backtracking a little bit, over here in these ones we've got all of our spices up here. This one is all of the dog stuff that we have. I'm a little bit of a crazy dog mom, so we've got lots of things. And then this is our junk drawer of sorts with extra trash bags, toothpicks, and whatnot. Here we have our Dometic CFX 95 chest style fridge and freezer. So the front side is the fridge. We've been able to fit about 7 to 10 days worth of food in there. The back side is the freezer and we've had plenty of ice cream, extra bread, extra butter, some frozen veggies in there. And the controls are right on the back side so we can still reach them. What's cool about this is you can switch the fridge and freezer and you can have 2 sections of fridge, 2 sections of freezer, or vice versa. Right here we have our his and hers clothes drawers, and this is where all of our clothes go, except we've got some socks and stuff in those too. Up here we have our microwave. It may not be necessary when living in a van, but we have actually been using it quite a bit and we love it. Love having it for leftovers and popcorn. Here we have some extra pantry space. We like to keep our snacks closer to the bed for obvious reasons. And we've got all of our electronics up here and we have outlets back here for charging as well. Down here we have all of our electrical and some random storage along with our paper towels. Also down here we have our S-Bar D4 diesel heater. It is underneath this shelf here and the air comes out right here, keeps us nice and toasty in bed. Here we have a 24 by 32 shower. It also houses our Nature's Head composting toilet. We love this thing. It is not as gross as you think and it's a whole lot better than just having to go outside every single time we go to the bathroom or having to find a gas station somewhere. We tiled this with a vinyl tile to save on weight and we haven't had any issues with that. We also keep all of our towels in here and we have extra hooks for when we have wet clothes or bathing suits, etc. The shower curtain actually extends out so we have more elbow room in the shower and it wraps all the way around. Also in the shower we have our soap dispenser for shampoo and conditioner. We also have these wire baskets that hold all of our soaps and face wash. They are suction cupped to the wall and they have not fallen off once. Here we have our main control panel basically. We have another ceiling light switch so that if we forget to shut them off, we don't have to get out of bed. We have our switch for the light in the bathroom. We have a switch that locks all of the cabinets. And this one is a master switch to all of the outside lights, so if we ever hear somebody creeping around, we can scare them away. This is a thermostat for our heated floors. These are our water gauges. We have a gauge in the fresh and the gray. And there's a switch to these down in the electronics cabinet. This is our battery monitor. This is our inverter switch. This is our heater. And these are for the fans. And this is our little Wi-Fi. To get up into bed, we use the fridge as a step because it's on 500-pound drawer slides. So we put the cable on this hook so that it doesn't shoot out when we step on it. And then we have this little step here so that we're not stepping right on the fridge. So we just put that in, climb up into bed. We have a 4.5-inch memory foam mattress, which is actually fairly comfy for something so thin. It is 58 inches wide, which is almost the size of a queen, and 72 inches long, which Blackhawk can sleep comfortably, and he's 5'10". Under the bed in this corner, we have our laundry chute, so I never have to smell Blackhawk's stinky socks. Up here, we just have some basic cabinets for socks and some accessories. Here we have one of our favorite parts of the van. We have a 28-inch TV. The bottom flips down so that it's not blocking any of the TV, and we can watch it comfortably from the bed. It also pulls out and turns so we can watch it from anywhere in the van. Behind the TV, we have our Fire Stick. We have a USB that houses all of our DVD collection that we used to have, and we have a Nintendo Switch for all of our Mario needs. On this side of the bed, we've got two little nightstands. We've got these really nice reading lights that are super flexible, and we have 12-volt outlets here for those and for our phones. Up here we have a very fancy bookshelf that is made out of the same wood as our countertop, the bench, and the other table. And we love this thing. We fit so many books in here. It's my favorite. So here I'll show you our window covers. We have snaps on them so that they do stay in place, but they are friction fit. We just made them pillowcase style and have thin sillet on the inside, so these can be taken off and washed if we need to. Our ceiling is made of a polyacrylic that we painted white. It is corrugated and we love the design. Our lights are 110 fixtures that we modified to work with 12-volt lights. And then we have two fantastic fans. So a little bit about us, guys. In our past life, I was a CNA. I worked in home health and hospice, and I also delivered pizzas to help us save up more money for the van build.
I was a carpenter framing custom homes for rich people, and we, at that point, have been married happily for 2 years. And then one day we saw van life and really just wanted to convert a cargo van.
We pretty much discovered the Instagram and YouTube world of van life, which has since become our community of friends and information for the build and life on the road. But once we discovered van life, we started making a list of what we would want in a van, and literally within 2 weeks we found our dream van, and it was only 6 hours away from us. So of course we jumped on it, and then we spent the 2 years after that working and saving and building the van. Thank you for joining us, guys, and thank you for watching the tour of our tiny home on wheels. We are so proud of it, and we worked really, really hard on it. Be sure to leave a note in the comments what your favorite part was, or if you have any questions, let us know. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day.
I hope you enjoyed that video. If you hadn't noticed, we do sell an ebook for how to convert a van. It has over 190 pages of detailed instructions and diagrams, also 25 video tutorials which are specifically for the ebook buyer. Creating a van for many people is obviously a really intimidating project, but I really believe, and I've seen it time and time and time again, that with the right information, anyone can turn out with a pretty decent van conversion. So check the link in the description, subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and drop us a comment if you like this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.